Hey guys, it's MrAddOil again, helping you fight today for your better tomorrow. So today we're going to talk about why having an emergency fund is super important, especially building up a 1-year emergency fund. So who is this video for? It's for someone who just graduated from college or someone who just started their career. Kind of like me. I just graduated 2016, started working for just like 2 to 3 years. So if this fits you, please stay tuned for the type of information I'm about to share. It will really help you a lot. So what is an emergency fund? The way I'll define it is an emergency fund is a pile of liquid cash that you have in your savings account. This way you can go down to your local bank and withdraw from it ASAP, as much as you need and as fast as you need it to be in your hands. And emergency funds, they're designed for these unexpected expenses in our lives, like when you got laid off from a job, you got fired, or your car broke down, for just numerous unexplained reasons where you need cash urgently to spend, or else you'll get into debt. So why did I decide to do more research and actually create a content for this topic about emergency funds? So if you watched my last video or read my blog about how I lost $5,000 investing or buying State Farm whole life insurance, that experience just reinforced why I need to personally develop and build a 1-year emergency fund, and how the majority of people should also follow suit and actually build their own 1-year emergency fund. In my last video of how I made a dumb mistake of investing, not even investing, just wasting $5,000 buying State Farm whole life insurance, the lessons I've learned from that would be to use that spare cash that I had. I mean, during that time, I believe I had 9 months worth of emergency fund, and I should just kept going and build it all the way up to a year versus taking a portion of that emergency fund and actually investing it elsewhere. So that was really my mistake, and I learned a lot from it, hence this video and this topic about why an emergency fund is important. I do have a link to my blog about this topic if you want to follow along and read that blog as you listen to this video. But here we go. We're now going to talk about how I would structure my emergency fund and how I would tier it and level it, and also talk about the comfort levels associated with each tier coming up next. First, the software that I use to budget would be mint.com. So I use that religiously to budget all my financial accounts and also create, a cash flow and burn rate type of budget. So Mint is a great tool for you to create that budget, and it's absolutely free. So the way I tier my budget would be in 3 categories. The first one would be an ideal burn rate. This will be a stretch goal where you will try to be within this budget range each month. That will be the first tier. It's called the ideal burn rate. The second tier would be the baseline burn rate. This is a more realistic representation of your spending habits per month, and it's a 25% markup from your ideal monthly burn rate. So let's say your monthly burn rate will be $2,000 a month. Then your baseline burn rate would be $2,500. And lastly, the last tier will be what I call an inflated monthly burn rate. And what that is you take your ideal monthly burn rate and then you mark it up by 50% to account for unexpected things that would happen in a given month where you have to spend a little bit more. This could be your car broke down, maybe your friend needs some financial help. There could be a number of reasons for you to want to have this third tier of budgeting, which is an inflated monthly burn rate type of budget. Next, I want to talk about the 4 stages that you will go through to build up your 1-year emergency fund. So the first stage would be to get to the first 3 months worth of emergency fund. I know that it might seem really challenging to get there. If you can't build up 3 months, just start small and start with 1 month or even $1,000 like Dave Ramsey recommends, right? But the first stage will be building a 3-month emergency fund. But when you get there, I will still be worried because, like I mentioned, there's 3 scenarios in terms of burn rates, right? There's the ideal burn rate, baseline burn rate, and inflated burn rate. Given a 3-month emergency fund, like in certain situations, that might come down to 1 or 2 months. So if I got to the first stage, which is having a 3-month emergency fund, I will still be worried, and I'll try to push really hard to get to the next step, which would be to have a 6-month emergency fund. So that's stage 2. Here, you're a little bit more flexible. Having that much amount of liquid cash will make you more flexible based on the 3 tiered burn rates, right? Let's say if you were really disciplined with your money, you can ideally last 5 to 6 months on a strict budget. If you're just meeting your baseline, then you will probably last 3 to 5 months. And then on an inflated burn rate, then that 6 months type of emergency fund will only last you 3 to 4 months. So that's the second stage. The third stage will be to accumulate enough to have a 9 months worth of emergency liquid cash. At this stage, it's much more flexible. Given the other 3 type of burn rates, you can last up to 6 months on a baseline, 6 to like 8 months on a baseline burn rate. And when you get to this stage, don't make the same mistake that I did by being overconfident and actually taking that money and trying to invest it in investment vehicles that you really don't know much about. That could be cryptocurrency, State Farm, life insurance, or just another unstable, risky type of investment. Because you're close to your 1 year, but you're not there yet. So be cautious and be disciplined to make it all the way to the 1 year goal. So the last stage is when you finally accumulated enough cash that's worth 12 months. And this is a great place to be because you have the most flexibility with this 12 months type of number. Here you could actually, if you were able to be really disciplined, you can survive 11 to 12 months on an ideal burn rate. And then if you were just not that disciplined, you can survive probably 9 to 11 months on your baseline burn rate. And then when push comes to shove, you're able to survive for probably 7 to 9 months on an inflated type of burn rate. Yeah, so in summary, I just gave you a couple reasons why having a 1 year emergency fund is super powerful and empowering to your life, because it would give you less stress, and then that amount of money gives you more flexibility because you can adapt it so that it would be, you can burn through your ideal monthly burn rate or your baseline burn rate, or if you really need to in certain circumstances, you can budget it accordingly to an inflated monthly burn rate. And then you just have a lot more flexibility with that because you have more to work with versus less. So the question of the day is, do you have an emergency fund? And if so, like, how much do you have? And are you comfortable with that? Please leave that in the comment section and I'll read and reply to your comments. Thanks for watching. And next up, we're going to have another video where I give you 10 reasons on why you want to build a solid emergency fund. And like I said, this is MrAddOil helping you fight your today for your better tomorrow. I'll see you in the next video.